Guys, welcome to another edition of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator. Today, as you saw in the ad that was posted across our social media, today we do have a special guest. We have one of the premier distributors in the industry, president of Uncork'd Entertainment. We have Keith Leopard. Let me bring him on. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So first and foremost, thanks for. I'm sure things are crazy hectic with everything that's been going on and navigating everything. Thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Sure.
To start first, can you tell me if the pathway to doing what you do now, as I mentioned before, and helping to distribute films, was that always a career path that you foresaw for yourself, or perhaps it was something that came by virtue of other things that you were doing in the industry at the time?
It was all just a natural progression. I went to film school, and I realized that I wasn't going to. Well, I took film history, which it's not a very pliable job. I wanted to work in film, but I knew I never really would. So while I was going to college, I was working at a video store in the San Francisco Bay Area, and this is well before Blockbusters, anything. And I got my film history degree. That was worth nothing other than people liked me in Trivial Pursuit to be on the that piece with the movies. But other than that, then I started working for Blockbuster in Seattle. I moved to Seattle. I was there 11 years, and then I went down to Dallas, Texas I bought movies for the corporate stores and was there 11 years. And so when they were kind of on their last leg, I was like, what do I do? And at that point I was 50 years old. I was like, well, I could go work for another company and maybe be laid off there, or I could take all my knowledge of this industry and start a distribution company. And that's kind of how I've been doing it for 8 years. So it was kind of born out of necessity. Like, what do you want to do next? I want to stay in the, somehow in the movie business. And this was the logical step.
Excellent. So that actually, brings to the next question. You kind of jumped into it already. That's perfectly fine. The company's origins, you guys started in, July 2012. And, in that time, you obviously have like a large library of, films that you help distribute. So with that in mind, can you tell me currently, like, what two parts, I guess? A, what do you use, or what strategy do you use in scouting for potential films that you foresee that you might be interested in helping to distribute? And then I guess B, in finding those avenues to scout for those potential films or those potential folks to partner with, what is it specifically about the film that draws you to it and says, what, I think this might be something that would be, ideal for Uncork'd?
So it started out, we did a lot of genre films. We still do a lot of genre films, but we did all genre films. And the reason we did that was in 2012, 13, 14, 15, that time frame, there was still a huge DVD market. Yeah. And Redbox was buying, everything. They just needed product. And so it was a business decision. I said, look, if I distribute horror movies, I can, sell them to Redbox all day long. They do digital revenue. I can grow the company. So about 4 years in, I was like, okay, I've built the company, up, not build, I'm building it up. It's growing. Now I need to start diversifying. And so then, we started doing, we did a few docs, we did some foreign, we did some comedies. So just to give it a little more breadth. And what we look for is, it's hard to say because I've been doing this for so long. I can see art, VHS artwork, oh, sorry. Hold on, just a quick second.
You're okay.
Guys, everybody. I'm so sorry.
You're all good, man.
So I've been doing this for so long that a lot of it is somewhat second nature, but it's like I'm always looking for projects that I think I can add value to. I've kept the company small. We release under the Uncork'd banner 2 to 3, sometimes 4 movies a month, but for the most part 2 or 3. And so I work on everything myself. I've got people that help me with things, but I touch everything. So I look for projects that I go, you know what? I think if we're involved, I think we can do a good job. But we can add some value. You know, I like to say, because I tell people I'm really a product guy with a distribution company. I'm not a sales guy. So I don't say, oh, hey, Brandon, I like your movie. I've got a slot in April. I look at it as like, how can I create the collateral materials, whether it's artwork, a trailer, all this stuff, and get the movie out there, get it placed, do some PR on it, and hopefully, because the way I look at it, you hand me your baby, we make it as pretty as we can, we put it out to the world, and then we hope that the whole world thinks you've got a beautiful baby. So it's, because people say, what are you looking for? I go, yeah, that's the tough part is I'm just looking for, well, one, production has got to be, well done movie, but it's just the opportunity, because there's some things I tell people we're just not good at, like just a drama, a heavy drama or a comedy. I said, look, I can't make those work. I've tried a few times, haven't been able to do it. So I also try to be honest with filmmakers or producers and say, look, I'm not the right guy for this. And so we're just out, and how we find the movies, in the pre-COVID world, is we would go to festivals, markets, and I'm assuming most people know the difference between a market and a festival, but we would go to the Berlin, Cannes, the major markets and festivals. And then, because I do a lot of genre, I would also go to Fantastic Fest in Austin, Sitges in Spain,
Southwest.
all those places. And now, we just got through having virtual Cannes, which is very bizarre. So we were doing Zoom meetings and Zoom and screenings. So, it's different. And my guess is it's not going to change for a while. And certainly, even if they did open up, other countries, they might not let the Americans in because, we've got a little issue with, containing this. So right now it's just all being done, via email and Zoom and things like that, which you can get it done. But I will tell you, in my experience in all these years, is there's nothing beats face-to-face, right?
Yes.
Nothing beats, hanging out with people and talking and building the relationships.
Absolutely. And that's actually a great segue in terms of, what you were just saying, and what it looks like under normal circumstances, in scouting for, potential, films. I would love to know what it looks like now, currently, with everything that's been going with social distancing, and probably deeper within that question, what have you noticed trend wise, and how it's shaped your business? Because you'll have your leasing components, and then you also have your profit sharing component. And now, with everything that's been going with social distancing, I'm assuming you're probably seeing a lot more profit sharing, more so than what you're seeing with leasing, potentially, in terms of what you see in your business.
Now, when you say leasing, I'm not sure what you mean.
So leasing in terms of I suppose in how in doing a fee for a flat fee for a particular film versus, and maybe I'm versus like sharing that the brunt of the costs.
So our model has always been to rev share, just because if the movie's a home run, you should participate in that as well. So there, and our approach to distribution is to be fair, honest, transparent. We're not the guy that will pay the highest license fees for a movie, because we feel that we're honest. So the only way we make our fee, and that's how we make our revenue. But I tell people a high MG or license fee and 100% honesty. A lot of times those don't really work because the guy that might be giving you a higher fee knows he's never going to pay you again, and it's worth it to him. So that's kind of how we do almost 100% revenue share. I think it's better that way because if I hit a home run, you don't want to be sitting on the sideline going, wow, look how much they made off of my IP. So that's how we do it. And it's interesting that during COVID, the first few months is everybody's business went through the roof because they're just sitting at home watching movies. And so now, looking at the trends is it should be good for a while, but my guess is once the studios start releasing the product that they already had, once Netflix starts filming, everybody gets back up to filming. We're not quite sure how the indie world's going to look in that. I mean, it'll still be there. There'll still be movies, but will there be maybe a trough of, a quarter or something where everybody's like, oh, all the new Netflix stuff is ready, all the new Hulu, all that. And we might see a little bit of dip because, there's still only a certain amount of time you have in a day to consume programs. And so we might see a little dip with us until everybody's kind of gone through the existing new product.
Gotcha. And I was going to say, taking that question a step further, with the future slate of, the current slate of projects that you have now, you're already implementing, a lot of the tools that are available in this, post-COVID environment that we're in. But looking forward in some potential films that, you're still in the process of perhaps you're still in talks with currently, what do you foresee would be some things that would be that perhaps you didn't foresee as a strategy before with distributing your films that now you're going to have to lean on a lot more going forward?
The one thing that is nice and I think that is advantageous for my company is we work so much with filmmakers on their second movie, their third movie, or producers, their second or third movie. So we have a lot of good relationships in the pipeline. So I'm not as concerned that there won't be films out there. We get a lot of referrals from satisfied producers or filmmakers. So right now, we have movies in the pipeline through the end of the year. The thing that I'm watching very closely though is what the publicly traded companies like IFC, RLJ, the ones that are public companies, I'm wondering because they're going to need product because they need top line revenue, and I'm wondering if they're going to start paying more for movies that maybe I would have been in the running for, but they need product and will they pay more because they need top line revenue. And if the movie doesn't work for them, by the time they have to report that to Wall Street, they've kicked that can down the road, and the loss will be buried under something else. So I am watching that very carefully, just to see what happens with the guys that need product and have the resources for the larger license fees.
Gotcha. And before I hop further, I'll put up a comment, just commenting on what you were saying before, Keith. Miles, hello, Miles. Looks like you're watching. He was, seconding, what you were saying, based on having a lot of his films distributed by your company. So
I've worked with Miles for quite a few years. We even helped him he had a movie that was, before my time, and he got the rights back, and we're helping him put that up on, some of the other ad-supported platforms and things. So yeah, we've got a great relationship.
Definitely. And then I guess even further, among those films that you said that are continuing towards the end of the year, are there some that, and it may not be fair to say, but perhaps there's some that you're really excited about, or you really have a feeling about in terms of its exposure to the public after you've seen it, where you're like, wow, this is actually going to, take off. This may be something, really special. And if so, what
Brandon, I love all my kids. Yeah, well, that's a loaded question. No, look, and when I'm actually working with producers and filmmakers, we do talk about, what I think. I mean, I wouldn't distribute the movie if I didn't think we could do a good job. But we have conversations all the time, like, look, you're not going to make $1 million on this movie, right? If that's what you want, then I'm definitely not the right guy. But we have those kind of conversations about here's how we're going to approach this. Here's how the artwork's going to look. We talk about all those things, and yeah, you have movies that are going to do varying levels, but I think a lot of filmmakers and producers, when we discuss this, they know what the movie is and they know what the movie isn't, and so going into it, we're like, look, guys, my job, what I need to do is I need to create the collateral material, the artwork, the trailer that is going to set us up for the best possible opportunity. And that is how you look at that in the US is how many platforms did we get on? We do a very structured release. We don't just throw things up on Amazon and stuff. So it's like, guys, if we do this correctly, then we're going to be on, iTunes, Vudu, Xbox, Google, DirecTV, Dish, In Demand, all these places. And that's how we look at, the scope of the movie. Right now, within that, each movie might, your movie, if you have a documentary, it might do better on iTunes. If we've got a genre movie, those don't really work that well on iTunes, but they work better on Xbox. So it's, every movie I'm working on, I'm excited about. Some you have a little bit more like, look, I'm approaching it as like from a business standpoint, because I release movies that I might not think is a great movie, but I think it's got great potential. And how do I exploit that? I work with filmmakers, and I'll be honest with you, there's been a few times when we've done movies that haven't worked out, but I wanted to work with a filmmaker because they're cool to work with, easy to work with, expectations are in line with ours. So I know it's kind of a roundabout way of not addressing the question as, what am I excited about? Because there's lots of them that I've got. I've got a couple documentaries on Bigfoot, which I grew up in the Northwest, so I'm a Bigfoot nut, right? So, but we know that this movie, it's got a certain following, and that's what it will do. But I'm excited about it because I like Bigfoot. But I'm not a big Westerns guy, but I work on some Westerns because, again, there's a business opportunity. So it's really more, just I've got the artist hat, I've got the commerce hat. I try to blend them all together.
Gotcha. Well, with that being said, Keith, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really do appreciate it. Can you tell folks where they can find you?
So the website is just Uncork'd Entertainment, .com. Pretty easy to find. And if you can share my email address and all that, and I see everything. Any email goes through the website I see, but I also say hand out my my email address that's not through the website, and I usually respond to everybody within a day or two. We've intentionally kept the company at a very manageable size. We don't have any investors. We wanted early on to be able to say, look, if there's an issue, good, bad, or ugly, right? You call me or you email me, and that's the one thing that I do pride myself on, that whether I made the money that you wanted us to make for your film or not, I would think that even my critics would say they did what they said they would do. We got it out there, we did some PR, and some work, some don't. You hit, to use a baseball analogy, singles, doubles, things like that. But we do try to make sure that even in an awkward situation, I pick up the phone or I answer emails.
All right, there you guys have it. Thanks to all of you guys that were watching. I'm your host, Brandon Choi, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. You can also find us on social media, obviously. We're on Facebook, as you can see now. Instagram, Movers Shakers Unlimited. Twitter, Move and Shake, UNLTD. Me, of course, Brandon Troy ENT on Twitter, and Brandon Troy _ENT on Instagram. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there. Till next time. See you soon.
Take care, Brandon.